Previously, in X-Men, the X-Men have just finished battling Alpha Flight in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and they have returned home after a long journey all the way from the Savage Land and Japan. And at this point in time, the X-Men have been separated from their longtime member, Jean Grey, also known as the Phoenix. She believes the X-Men to be dead. They believe she and the Beast are dead. And she is meanwhile in Scotland, living her life, trying to put pieces back together, while the X-Men have finally returned home to Salem Center, New York, Westchester, to begin again and start from scratch and pick up the pieces and start training for whatever comes next. I am Jason Lapidus.
I am Chris Sanagan.
And we are Group of Seven Comics, and we are joined today by our friend Eli Schwab, all the way from Los Angeles, California.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Not much, man. Just lots of comics. How are you, Eli?
Oh, I am great. I am just in the process of packaging comics nonstop and shipping and packing and shipping.
What are you packaging? What you got there, buddy?
Interesting questions, and thank you for asking. I have Wizard Magazine, issue 2, 420 pages of comics and interviews, and almost 5 pounds. And trust me, it's gonna cost you. No, it's an amazing magazine. I've been super psyched now that it's out in the world. People are talking about it. People are covering it on their channels. People seem to enjoy it. I put a lot of work into it, toiled over it, and if you can imagine, I memorized all 420 pages.
So I've got the first one here in hand, the original. You know, you're very well known for this. You're also well known for publishing Image Grand Design.
Correct.
Was it last year or was it now in 2020?
When did it come out? I can't remember when. I think it was published in 2020.
Can you just give us a rundown on, because I'm familiar with Wizard Magazine from the 1990s and into the 2000s. And obviously, you know, we got a different spelling here. What is Wizard Magazine? Like, what's it?
Well, it really spawned out of this group, the Cartoonist Kayfabe Ringside Seats group. While I didn't start the page, I was like a day early. And right when I wrote to Jim and Ed, they're like, "Oh man, this girl just wrote us yesterday about it." And I was like, "Oh man, what the hell?" My whole reason for wanting to start this group and was like, "Oh, they're covering wizards. I know there's going to be comic people in here. We need to just make our own Wizard magazine." Like, I have a bit of a past of like what I say is harnessing the creative power of these Facebook groups I've been with. I made 2 issues of a Ninja Turtles zine and 6 issues of the Ween zine, the world's only existing Ween zine about the band Ween. So I just knew that like I loved to do this, and I knew that it was like something that would be what I thought easier in this group that was like bound to be full of like comic heads, and you know you got to be deep to be watching this stuff. And so I knew there'd be like all creators, and I was like, we just got to make our own Wizard magazine. I didn't want to name it Wizard. That was never part of the thing. I made a poll in the group, let people suggest whatever titles they wanted, and Wizard with the backwards E is what won. So that's how the title came.
That E is backwards.
The E is backwards.
So now, just as like a point of trivia here, what did you want to call the magazine?
I didn't really know exactly. I probably would have named it some lame like Cosmic Lion the Cosmic Lion Anthology or something like that. I don't know. Somebody called it wanted to call it like not mage, but like another name for a wizard. You know, like they were using these different
sorcerer.
Exactly, right. Sorcery magazine. And you know, people were like, "Oh, but you can't name it Wizard." But there was like a Wizard magazine, Wizzard, from the 70s, I think. And then there was like some other Wizard publications. There's like all this stuff. So I just figured it would be fine. And, I had thought about for Wizard 3 or for the next publication, changing the title and kind of growing it a little bit to be more like, what's this book? A Kramer's Ergot that Jim Rugg talks about. I got one of those recently. It's very similar to Wizard, except that it doesn't have articles and stuff. It's just comics.
Right.
But I don't know. I think that the success of Wizard 2 now it's kind of locked it in as the title. So I guess I'm going to continue with it like that.
And we're really excited because we're going to get a chance to finally meet you in person.
Yes.
In like under 3 weeks.
It's really close.
You're coming to Toronto.
That's right.
Coming to the Toronto Comic Arts Festival, the controversial Toronto Comic Arts
Festival. I know. I can't wait to launch the Wizard NFT.
That's a great idea, Eli.
Yeah. No one's even thought of it.
I feel like that's all I'm going to talk about the whole time I'm there. All the NFTs I'm launching.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be amazing.
So you're bringing copies of Wizard to Toronto, to TCAF.
Correct. And yes. I'm going to TCAFinate everything.
I bet you. I bet you are. I'm hoping that you sell out before you even arrive. I'm hoping so many people pre-order and pick up at TCAF, as opposed to you having to come with all these magazines not knowing if they're going to sell, because it is a great product. People who are into this are really, really, really going to enjoy it.
Agreed.
And, they're going to get a lot out of it. It's a beautiful cover.
Oh yes, Matthew Allison, aka Cankor.
Cankor he's an incredible artist. I'm going to just full screen that. Hold on, go back.
And colored by Sam J. Royale, who is really a design, color, aesthetic wizard. Oh,
I know. You can't help it. It's okay.
Yeah.
No, it looks great. It's a wholly original looking cover. Like I haven't seen anything else like that. So it'll be super fun. And just even for the hang in Toronto.
Oh, it's going to be amazing.
But I'm just really hoping that you have all the success with this endeavor. Do you want to talk for a second about any of your other comics you've been making? You've been making comics for a long time.
Yeah, I really have been. I mean, if you're getting down to brass tacks here, my first comic was made in 1993 in 3rd grade, and it was Star Trek based.
We're not getting down to that brass.
You don't want to go that far back. Yeah, I mean, Monkey Lion is my creator-owned book. It's about an intergalactic Afro-funk band on tour through the galaxy.
Of course.
Of course, as you do. And I've got 3 issues of that done, and those were completed like 10 years ago. And I hope to finish the first one. The second one isn't 10 years ago, but there's been a definite creative gap in Monkey Lion, though I've had the next issue fully written and thumbnailed for 5 years.
Right, but you've been doing other creative things.
I've been doing a lot of other stuff, yeah. And one cool thing that I'm debuting at TCAF, the TCAFination station, is a 100-page collection of my Next Panel Press comic, The Citizens of Elonia. So it's going to be 5x5 square. Each panel I did is a page, and you're going to be able to flip through this comic that I completely lost the narrative track to. So I almost need to put it in there, because what I did, actually went through and read it. I do know what I did is I broke the 4th wall, and then broke that 4th wall enough to the point where I was like, the citizens' entire planet was sent back in time. Their time moves faster than the people outside, and just I don't even know what I did to it. So so I took a break from even doing it so that I could get into Wizard and do all that stuff. So I'm hoping once Wizard settles down, I can kind of get back into that and do some more of the creative process.
You're an insane machine. I don't know what to say. You are one in a million.
That's a massive. Just in terms of the number of people involved, from an administration perspective and a publishing perspective, incredible congratulations to you on both books, but
thanks.
Being the linchpin, the integrator to get all that shit done and together and to the print house and all that stuff, that's the stuff that often goes not forgotten when we work on our books and stuff, but it's a time suck.
Oh, it's so much.
As you know, so I just want to say massive congratulations, just even on content aside. Just having that accomplishment, just well done.
Thanks, just man. quick question here, Eli. Which of all the pieces to go into Wizard 2, who did you have to ride the longest to get their piece submitted?
I think you know the answer to that, Jason. It was you who submitted days before I went to print.
Yeah,
I actually went to print and then was like, the PDF is coming. It'll be here in a second. Just let's get the payment going and let's get the balls rolling here.
I think the 100% Comics Weapon Ek
was the same.
It was the same thing. There's some of us, we have things on the go we're juggling a lot of balls, so to speak. There's a lot of balls in the air.
Of course.
And I've never been great with getting things done on anyone else's schedule but my own, as you and Chris can attest. It is a big challenge, and so we appreciate your patience and cooperation in getting that piece involved. And like Ed Piskor said, genius.
Hey, before we get too far away, I do want to throw out 2 thanks to Taylor Mitchell and to Ben Granoff, who helped me a lot with the editorial and type, like spelling errors, commas, all that stuff. So there would be a lot more mistakes than there are now, of which there are some.
It's inevitable.
Oh, man. I forgot 2 pages of a comic, a whole comic, 2 pages. I forgot a paid ad. Like, there's just, so like, there is some stuff that like, there's just a lot of stuff to it. And I'm not perfect. I didn't do it perfect. I've never made a perfect book. Yeah.
You're pretty close.
I put Cosmic Line Productions, the logo, in a ton of stuff. I forgot the C in Productions. So it's like, I made a whole sign for cons, like a lot of stuff. So but the good thing is it's in a circle and the brain just completes it. And like nobody noticed it until one of my parents' friends from Facebook were like, you spelled it wrong, right? And I'm like,
oh my God.
It's always going to be a parent's friend. It's always going to be a parent's friend.
It's always like,
on Facebook.
Come on.
Hey, so so how much are you selling these for? Oh, that's interesting. You're like, do you want one? No,
it's
just this.
Like, they're $35 with a $15 shipping on them. I think in person I'll still have to do $35 because it was pretty expensive to get the book printed. If I'm honest, I'm not making a big margin off of them if I can be transparent. So like $35. I don't have any of the foils left. They all sold out. I thought I ordered 50. I only ordered 30. So I didn't even get any extra for my like promotional copies or anything. So
well, hopefully you sell so many that you have to do a second printing of even foils, or who knows, whatever. Just shouts to Trevor 16 Shooter. How you doing, Trevor? Hope you are good. And you're
Trevor.
Also,
Trevor Fitzroy, or that's way down the line.
Different Trevor. That you've read this week's issue of X-Men, and that you're able to pick up.
I dug it. I got it on
Cosmic Line Productions. Amazing.
Oh yes, CosmicLineProductions.com for everything.
There you go. That's a good plug. You should have that in your name there, man. It's good. Anyway. Oh. We can get onto the book if you guys want to.
Totally, yeah. I dug it.
Before we even get onto the book, just Eli, can you give me a sense, or give us a sense, the people out there, where you first bumped into the X-Men?
Wow. If I may, I have the exact book that I first ran into the X-Men. It's right here. You can still probably hear me. 2nd grade book fair. I got this book right here.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
X-Men Guidebook by Dwight Zimmerman. He goes by Dwight Dillon to most people, but Zimmerman. 1992. It's got that classic Art Adams on the front. And it's like basically just like, it's all about each character.
Right. Who's who, kind of.
Exactly. But it's got that like scholastic book fair bent to it,
Totally.
And then from there I went to 6 Shooter. Sorry, dude.
Yeah, hope you're gonna recover quickly, Trevor, and everything is going good, man. It's the reality, isn't it? So hope you're.
It doesn't go through the airwaves, does it?
No, it doesn't go over the Wi-Fi either. But we hope you get well.
The information is tough to pin down.
Yes, so you're saying it's about the book fair and the character.
Yeah, and then I got an issue of Uncanny X-Men. I can't remember. I know it is what it is visually. It's got the Shadow King on the front or something like that, and it's one of those ones. And I think it's a Jim Lee book. And from then I just loved it. Bought some more issues, and then the cartoon came out, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is the best!" And then it was just like toys, comics, the cartoon. It just was, and it's always been that thing of like, just like they always say, the world that fears and hates them. For me, it was like, as a person who liked comics and played with toys all, I was like, nobody liked comics. They feared and hated them, and nobody was Jewish, and nobody was like this. And so like I felt like I was like a little bit different, and so I felt like I was one of these people. And of course, my favorite X-Man turned out to be the Baptist preacher, the Christian preacher Nightcrawler. And I was like, what's going on? I can't relate anymore, bud.
But at least,
No, I love him. I just bought this little mini Scotty Young Nightcrawler that just came out a couple of Wednesdays ago. Beautiful.
Nice. I got my Nightcrawler right where my thumb is. If you can see, he's right there.
Where his thumb is.
See that there? Marvel Legend. He's there.
Ooh,
nice. Back there. Anyway,
I have the old school Playmates or Toy Biz one over there. It's
nice. Yeah, I think I have that one too.
With the suction cups.
Oh no, that's old school.
Yeah, the original.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
like if they're on his hands kind of thing.
So
one on his knee and one on his hand.
Where are you reading the issue today?
Today I'm using Comixology Unlimited. Comixology Unlimited, brought to you by Amazon.com, features all. No, I do love. Sorry, I'm reading it off Marvel Unlimited, Marvel Unlims. Yeah,
very nice.
But
I'm
I
reading
do
it today in the beautiful X-Men Essentials Volume 2, gifted to me by the one and only Chris Sanagan. Even though today is Chris's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Chris!
Thanks, man.
I got it from him for no reason other than just being that he's a good guy.
What number Essentials is that?
Number 2, which ties into the idea of this show, which is that these issues that we're reading are the essential issues. Mm. That's why the Essentials 1 starts with Giant Size X-Men number 1, not Uncanny X-Men or X-Men number 1.
Yeah, right.
They skip over the first 93 issues to get right to the good stuff. Ooh. And we believe, or at least I believe, and keep trying to preach it on everybody else, that the things that happen in these issues that we read are like forever change the brand of X-Men, so much so that every other iteration, going from the 80s comics, like the Jim Lee stuff, and the cartoon in the 90s, and the video game, and then into the movies and the MCU, are all going to have traces in their DNA back to this era of X-Men.
Definitely. Sure.
One thing I was gonna say, one thing that's really cool, just Eli listening to how you came to X-Men and like time period and all that kind of stuff. Thanks, Trevor. I appreciate that. What we love about this show so far is that we've had a few people come and talk to us about X-Men. Like every era of X-Men has its doesn't matter when you came to it. Could have been the 80s, could have been Giant Size, could have been the 90s. Like what a franchise to be able to do that, where it doesn't matter the age of the kid coming in or whatever. Let's just call kids coming in and discovering them. It's like, oh yeah, every 10 years is a new group. Oh, every 10 years is a new group of people like, oh, that's my X-Men. Like it's just
totally
it's
like SNL.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah. And the cast members change too, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's a good thing. That's a good.
That's a good one. Yeah. I also am reading it today on another. I'm reading it in Classic X-Men.
Oh, interesting. Cool.
For the children.
Well,
come on. That scene was sweet, though. I've got a lot to point out in that scene.
There's so much, and I have to also add that Terry Austin's inks. When you read it in this format, they are so crystal clear. I'm imagining it's also clear on the app, but they're the amount of cameo names in this issue is
amazing,
mind-boggling.
So
mind-boggling. So we can move forward with that momentarily, and of course, may your day be touched with a bit of the Irish.
Irish.
Dang.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you
Banshee.
Very much, Trevor.
He talks down to the Blueskins in this one a little bit. It's weird.
Really?
I thought so.
Oh, okay.
That's a whole. That's an interesting sequence. Like that.
It's like
what's going on there?
And
he's like, go over there, boy, and check the phone for me. I'm like, what, Banshee?
Hello there, toying around. I hope you enjoyed the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan. I have not yet gotten to listen to your podcast recapping the first 2 episodes, but I'm sure you enjoyed it very much. Whether or not
Jason has lots of thoughts.
No,
when you're at an all weekend con with Jason and Obi-Wan comes out,
and one day's full of rain.
Thoughts on Obi-Wan.
Hope you're well, Kevin, and hope you stick around for a bit. But I know you're busy with all the amazing shenanigans you're getting up to as well. So let's dive into this issue. Here we go. We've got
Eli turning on his iPad. He opens it up and opens the comic book, and then turns the page.
So we get a sweet Dave Cockrum cover, which we've been seeing a lot of these days. And and Kevin says, "Yeah, I've been to a one-day comic. I hear you. Yeah, I've been known to talk. I got some opinions on comics and trivial
feelings.
Yeah, lots of feelings about stuff. Yeah, and no, we're not saying anything bad about anybody. So and no spoilers because this is not an Obi-Wan show. But maybe some child actors can run better than others. Moving on. Maybe it's not distracting if they can run properly. There you go. All right. So we get a great Dave Cockrum, Terry Austin, Colossus cover. A good moment from the comic. We get an unusual inclusion of Wolverine on a Cockrum cover, which he often excludes Wolverine.
Really?
But I think you could say that's because the scene explicitly has Wolverine in that situation. And if Cockrum could have chosen any other X-Men, he probably would have.
Just lighting up cigarettes wherever he wants. In the danger room. He's like, wherever.
It was a different time, Eli.
Now, if you came to this cover, you would think this issue is about Colossus.
Right. On some sort of trial.
But on some sort of trial.
Like
that's not the case.
Well, literally,
the first couple of pages was we'll get
first couple pages
of which is also solved in those first couple pages.
Yes. True. It is very quickly resolved in a great way. I love that we're going to talk about in a minute. But there is a Diamond Select Marvel action figure that comes with like this spiked Danger Room component.
Really?
As like a prop piece. Yeah. So if you order Marvel Select through Diamond, they have there's a toy line, and they're just a tiny bit oversized for Marvel weapons. In the case of Colossus, it definitely is an appropriate size match because he's just a little tall, but that's totally fine. But yeah, he comes with that piece, and you can recreate the scene if you are so inclined.
Is Marvel Select a Diamond exclusive line, Jason?
It is ordered through Diamond.
Okay.
And but stores carry it, including my local.
Yeah, no, mine does too. I actually have a Captain Marvel.
Right.
Or my son has a Captain Marvel, but I was curious about just the where they come from and such. But
yeah. I sold the figure when we were at Mississauga Expo once.
Yep.
I think we were there together. I sold that figure, kept the prop. It's a good prop. But I don't really have a lot of room for props, but so be it. Yes, it's the coffee machine. He's a tough guy. What are you going to do? What's going on here? Who's this?
Yeah, why did he have those weights? Why is he lifting weights in that OG figure? His whole motion is just lifting weights. He's much more than that. Come on.
I agree with you. It's a little one-dimensional. Fair enough. Good point.
But it reminds me of this kind of is what made me think of it. He's kind of like
totally. It's a trial of strength.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
And also a little Cyclops there at the top.
Yep. Stuck in the window.
Mister.
We always vocalize him very bratty on my other podcast, Can I Thwip It? Especially when we were covering like when the young Cyclops comes to the future and then he goes off into the space with Corsair. So he's like, Daddy, what am I doing?
He has a good scene in this one where there's some we can make some good fun of him.
Cool.
Yeah, when he's having lunch. We'll get there.
Oh yeah.
He's out having lunch.
He's whining like crazy.
Yeah, a little bit. All right, Chris, give it a flip.
Let's do it.
Let's see that ad.
Oh, I didn't get the ads.
Oh, the ads are special. So we get a bit of a different credit in this one. We get
a different title.
Cry for the Children.
Cry for the Children. It's Trial of Colossus. You open up Cry for the Children.
Nowhere else is a trial mentioned.
Does every page need a title?
Every page needs you need to re-up on the character.
You do.
We get Burn On breakdowns and Austin Unfinished art, which just probably implies that the stage at which Byrne hands over the pencils are earlier than he usually would. So Austin has a larger hand in finishing the rendering on some of the details, and that's to me that suits this tandem really, really nicely. Byrne's layouts are great. This issue looks really, really, really good.
Definitely.
Especially in that black line version that I have in the Essentials. It really shines. But anyway, you get Colossus in this fun moment. And we get a description that, he's not feeling so sure about himself. He's been having some guilt about some past incidences and battles, and it gives us a little history, like growing up on the farm, the commune in Siberia. And
at this point, have we been introduced to Ilyana yet?
We were introduced to her actually in his very first scene. She's just the little child. I'm sure you've seen it.
In Giant Size.
The tractor is headed toward a little girl.
I believe it's a combine harvester.
Yeah, she's playing with a doll, just
But she hasn't come back or shown her mutant powers or anything.
Correct. Okay. So this explains it. It's sort of like this team is his new family, and he's not a person wounded from his past, so much so as being a person who's gone from one loving family into now another. So when I think things go bad for him, it's sort of a first time dealing with some heavy stuff. There you go.
He's not equipped.
I like the image.
Yeah, it's good. It's nothing extraordinary, but smart of Byrne to put it on that Dutch angle there to add a little bit of tension.
Yeah.
I don't always like the recolor on the Marvel Unlimited app. Some of the effects and like tones and stuff that they would do in these old books, they don't always translate.
When you say the tones, like the screen tone at the top of the
well, see, on this page it does, but when they use it on like a face, or sometimes like it's kind of muddy, like it doesn't fade into one another. It's not like smooth.
Sure, I'm not surprised. Yeah. It makes sense. All right,
good.
Yeah,
see, I was wondering
what
if they like. No, he's got just like a toothpick. I was wondering if they like took out the cigarette or something or the cigar.
I don't think it's a toothpick.
He's just kind of chewing on it.
So he lights it on the second.
He does light it later.
Yeah, he totally does.
Oh, I see it on the second page here.
Which is, it's great. So what we get here is, Colossus is going, and one of the changes between this and maybe previous issues is we see now Wolverine playing that leadership role as kind of like a not co-leader, but he's taking a leadership role decisively with Colossus and caring about his development as a team member, which we haven't really seen before. He would, taunt everyone or cheer them on a little bit here or there, but now he's not even in the action, but he's there watching over his little brother. He's like, I know this guy's kind of hurting. I believe in him, and I'm going to put my money where my mouth is to show him that he actually is capable of all these things. Like, I'm going to help elevate somebody else. And we haven't seen that from Wolverine yet. And I love how, like, he's kind of working with with Cyclops. Cyclops is trying his way, not getting results. Wolverine's like, okay, I'm going to try it my way. You're putting him in the situation, and he stealthily puts his hands over the controls, pops his claws while his knuckles are over top.
Yeah,
they short out the system, and then he takes off. And of course, Colossus can't turn it off. And Wolverine's like, "This thing is going to crush you, but buddy, I know you can handle this. So I'm going to put myself right in there. And if it crushes you, it's crushing me first. So let's do this. That's around."
So from a purely like team, like leadership perspective, I love that move. I love he's like, I'm in here with you. I love it. It's great. The cynic in me says he has this healing factor, so he's like, I'm just going to re-heal. So
right.
And unbreakable skeleton.
Skeleton, so really has nothing to lose.
But we don't know.
Squish all his skin between the metal and the skeleton.
Exactly.
Oh man,
I still love it, and I mean, Byrne and Austin do some of the best ridiculous tech. Like, they draw tech stuff in a way that is so believable and so hard to draw. Like, I know it just looks like tons of ruler action and fine line, but it is really hard to draw what these guys put together. It always is believable and impressive whenever Byrne and Austin lay down some sweet, sweet tech. Like, Wolverine shoves that door open, too. You can see the cracks in it.
Right, yeah.
Like,
he's like, you can't be in here while I'm operating.
Good scene.
All right.
He also says that, he's been fretting ever since the tussle with Magneto. Right, so that's when they are in the sub-volcanic layer, and he felt like he being Colossus feels like he underperformed in that battle. And it could have ended things much better, and was one of the reasons that it didn't go the way they hoped. So he's been carrying around all this guilt. So it's great. It's a really good scene to help move the character forward. But there you go. Like, that's 3 pages, and the trial of Colossus is over.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. He is totally having a conniption. You're right. Look at him.
And is this? I mean, now from going through all the stuff previously, I mean, I know Wolverine. I think we've seen him smoke before, but like that third panel on page 3 where he's lighting it up, which becomes like a hallmark panel.
Yeah.
Right. In future issues, he's. I mean, it's almost like, is this the beginning of every issue? Does he light up pretty much?
Of smoking Wolvie.
Yeah, we can keep tabs on that moving.
A smoke and a pancake.
I mean, if your lungs just grew back and pushed the tar out of it, it's like might as well smoke.
We'll have to keep track because that's a real iconic image. It's like literally him just in full uniform being like, "Yep, let me just get this smoke out of the way before I."
Totally.
Yeah.
In the movies too, right? I mean, so far that there's even that scene where like they go into Cerebro, and Professor X is like, "There's no smoking allowed in here," and Wolverine puts out the cigar on his
head,
like on his own arm, or on his hand, like while they're in there. Just anyway, good scene.
Good scene. Yeah, good scene.
But then this is hilarious on the next page when he's like, "Oh, you guys didn't turn yet? Oh my gosh!
Look at that toy, that Micronauts toy called the Trons."
Oh wow.
The Micronaut robot clowns that make you laugh.
Does that make any kid laugh? It's going upstairs. That's going to terrify any kid.
So I had that.
What?
Did it make you laugh?
I didn't. I only had a few pieces by the time I realized that I had it. Like my consciousness that is here with you now only recognizes 3 pieces from this set and never knew what it was. So I must have had the whole thing at some point.
Oh, weird.
I have an older brother, so who knows what he did.
He got it. Yeah.
That guy.
But you remember that it wasn't the funniest toy you ever had.
No, I was all action all the time.
Right.
Toys.
I couldn't believe it's like the ad is like, it's a robot clown that makes you laugh. You know, kids, robot clowns.
Those 2 things that scare you already? Well, we put them together.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it is a crazy toy. I probably still have the piece, that blue piece at the very front. I think I still have.
Oh.
Anyway, those leg things, like those front foot, I don't even know what to call them. Moving on. I did it. Yep.
Yep.
You did it. Good job, dummy.
He was like, I thought I was just going to give up. Like, I made one mistake. I'm a metal-skinned human, and I'm going to just quit now. You know? It's like, come on, dude. Pietro. But then it's hilarious how, like, mean Colossus is right here, and how, they should just take out the thought bubble above Wolverine in panel 3 and just put one of those, circly things that, like, is above where he's like, just grumbling as he, like, has to fix his mistake or fix his...
He has that.
How is Wolverine going to fix the danger room?
Right, with some tools. Let's a couple screwdrivers.
Is Wolverine an engineer of some renown? Because I'm thinking he's not.
Hold on, Eli, were you saying that they should have him not speaking but just grumbling?
Well, like in Peanuts or whatever, where like he misses the football and then there's a little curly Q inside this thought bubble.
Yeah,
there's a little scribble thing. Yeah.
It's that black thing about.
Oh, I guess that's true. Yeah,
it is there. It just isn't clear because he's also speaking.
That's true.
So like it's too many pieces. It should have been just him doing that.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that till now. Yeah,
I thought that was distress on the wall or something.
No, it is. It's really it's him going with the thing.
Got it.
It's him making the Charlie Brown curly thing.
So he is doing it.
So Wolverine's gonna have to really like do some serious hammering on those panels.
Yeah,
that is.
Fix the glass paneling that's over the top and the microchips. You got new chips. You got a new whole board. Like, what's in that toolkit?
Those things are garbage.
Yeah,
just throw them out. Anyway, it's pretty wild that each of the X-Men is an engineer of sorts.
Yes,
they're an area. Well, as we're going to see, like an aeronautics engineer. Yeah,
very fix that plane, no problem.
A guy that can answer phones well.
But it is fair that Wolverine does have to do this.
Right.
Actually, I'm going to take that back. If Colossus was to survive this test anyway, it would break.
Right.
Right.
Isn't point of the danger room is you're destroying all the robots that are coming at you and stuff?
Right.
Huh.
Is there a comic? Like, I know Whedon's Astonishing X-Men has Danger Room as an antagonist, like a AI life form. Oh, yeah. But is there just like a comic where like there's the guys who constantly fix the Danger Room? And they're just kind of like, a storm did another hurricane in here. Now I gotta find a way to drain, 300 cubic meters of rain water.
I have this figured out for you, buddy. Remember in like issue way back 10 whatever,
okay,
or in the teens when they come across those wee people living in there are
at the Banshee's castle.
Yes, there were a bunch of like, were they leprechauns?
We up for debate.
They're Lilliputian, like,
oh right,
there are these little people that live in the castle.
Yeah,
so they should have just this is terrible,
kidnapped them,
enticed them to come to America for the sole purpose of repairing the
danger room.
Yeah.
Well, don't they create those like Banffs later on? Who creates those? All those little night crawlers that are running around and like Spider-Man and the X-Men and stuff.
I forgot about those little dudes. Are they from Mojoverse or something? Mojo World?
No, I don't remember how they came to be.
So so the X-Men walk out that one door and they're right into the hallway of the house, and Colossus, they don't show the transition, but his pants are back, unstable molecules and all.
Right.
And they're on their way to Radio Shack, as Trevor says, which is a good idea. Pick up all your tech needs in the 1980s, or 1979 in this case. And Scott's new girlfriend, because he's not having a tough time getting over Jean Grey. He's right on to Colleen Wing. She's there, and hello Sailor, new in town. I like their fun banter, and they're going to go out for the day. And they reference here, Cyclops references that they're looking for a day off, especially after that crazy fight with Living Monolith.
Mm-hmm.
And that was in Power Man and Iron Fist, issue 57, now on sale. So 3 X-Men appeared in that one: Nightcrawler, Storm, and Cyclops. And it is not written by Chris Claremont or drawn by John Byrne, even though both those guys had previously been on that title. It's just the X-Men appearing in another book because it's going to bring up sales, probably.
Mm.
And the X-Men have history with the Living Monolith. There's strong ties to... It's from like the first bunch of issues from the team, and at some point Havoc is sort of linked to... He's like an avatar or like the vessel for the Living Monolith. So he's got some crazy history there. Anyway.
First appeared in X-Men 54.
Right. So it goes way back. Way back. Wow. I think like to the Neil Adams era.
Okay.
Yeah, and we see, again, unbelievable artwork in this next panel where we see the guys repairing the jet, the Blackbird. Like the work underneath that, the internal workings. I know it's just lines and curves and such, but it really is believable as tech.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic artist. I want to read the hanger. Oh, there's some blueprints on the wall.
Blackbird F217.
Yeah, because
and the drum is oil, so you know.
Yes, it is.
It's not water, Banshee.
No,
it's not.
Or gas for Wolverine to smoke next to.
That's right.
So this is a mile away in a hidden hangar. This hidden hangar complex connected to the mansion by an underground tunnel. And Sean Cassidy says,
"Science above, Kurt. The Blackbird's been mothballed, just like Cerebro and the mansion, as if the professor never intended to use it again." Teleport over now to the phone with you, Kurt. There's a good lad.
That's where I thought he was talking down. There's a good lad. Come on.
Well,
is he a lad?
I'll scratch that tail of yours for you. Okay?
He is his elder, and I really love this viewpoint, like of further kind of like along the wall, and so Nightcrawler's sort of reaching for it while teleporting. It's kind of a neat to do that. But I love how he says X-wing restorations.
Right.
Yeah. That right? Is that a nod?
Well, what's an X-wing?
Well,
is it precursor to? Oh, is this a ongoing gag?
No. Well, yeah. No. Chris Claremont likes Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
and he likes Star Trek, and he brings both of them into X-Men regularly.
He wrote an awesome Star Trek graphic novel called Debt of Honor. Yeah, it's a beautiful hardcover with Captain Kirk that takes place right after Star Trek 4. Sick.
So they've just come back from 1986, or what year did they go to?
Yeah, I think it was 1986, and the lady doctor from the Cetacean Institute.
We just call them doctors in Canada, Eli. Not
doctors. You're right. Sorry, the lady, doctor,
the mom from 7 Heaven.
Right, exactly. They took some LDS and they went on a boat trip.
So was it a good? You said it was a good book.
Oh, it's really good, and it's hailed as one of the better, if not like the top 5 Star Trek comics of all time.
Cool.
Debt of Honor, a beautiful hardcover volume.
Very nice. I was gonna say here, now that Banshee asks Nightcrawler to go grab the phone, it made me think of, because of his power set, do you think for the next little while, anytime the phone rings in the house, Nightcrawler, you get that?
He just bamps over.
You get that, Kurt? Do you get that, Kurt?
Oh. You guys are being tough on Banshee. His hands are busy. He's doing something.
I'm just feel like they take advantage of Kurt a little bit, where it's like, can you get that for me? Can you get that?
I mean, why wouldn't you ask? You can just bamf over and bamf back. I mean. It doesn't make him tired.
At the door, Kirk at the door.
This might be a good time to interject, since we're already talking about Star Trek a little bit, the amazing Star Trek X-Men novel that I am reading right now. It is fantastic.
What is the premise of the Star Trek X-Men novel?
Oh my God, it's great. Okay, so there's this planet, right? And I guess it's kind of like the planet develops mutants, and this big group of people across the planet develop mutant powers. And it takes place right after the Star Trek Next Gen X-Men cartoon or comic. And then they get taken forward. Yes. Okay. So the X-Men get put into Star Trek, and they end up, they get to this planet. They get taken over there. Picard's got the hots for Ororo. And there's a whole thing.
Picard and Professor X are in the same place at the same time?
No, Professor X is not taken forward. He's not in it. I know.
Go on.
Sick. They'd have been like, I like your style. Well, there's an amazing part where they get blasted upon the Enterprise. It's the Enterprise E gets blasted upon by these because this takes place right after First Contact. That's where the Star Trek X-Men happens. They, on their way back to the future, they get sidetracked into another dimension.
Cool.
And so then there's one time where they're blasted, their shields are down, but they were able to transport over Data and Nightcrawler were able to bamf through space to the warring ship after they were able to get their shields down, and they bamfed over there. Oh my God. But another thing that was so sick too, Worf went over with Archangel, who's flying around the Enterprise. But then the 3 red shirts security officers that are with Worf and Archangel are named Lee, Dicko, and Kirby. And guess who dies? Lee. It's crazy. Dude, this is really good. It's really like a guilty pleasure type of novel to read. It's amazing. I love every second of it.
And you said, is it a graphic novel or a novel?
No. It's a novel.
Don't you want to see Archangel flying around the holodeck?
It's all right here, baby. It's all right here. It's so epic. It's in my mind so much,
I hear you.
That's
all right.
Great.
That sounds what's it called?
Planet X. Star Trek The Next Generation X-Men Planet X.
There you go. That's the name of my local comic store.
Really? The guy who writes it actually writes for Picard, and is still working in Star Trek now.
Oh, cool. We'll have to talk later about Strange New Worlds.
Absolutely.
I watched episode 4 today. Moving on. All right. Good. So the Cyclops just says he's going out for the day, and Banshee's like, yeah, you go. So
this is a great panel at the end here.
The one about him thinking and his mind goes off to distant space. Is that what you're referring to?
Exactly. The drifting. Yeah.
It's absolutely fantastic. These guys are great artists. So obviously Scott's still being bothered by the whole idea of Professor X just disappearing. While the team is presumed dead, Professor X leaves with his alien love, Lilandra, who is the... Can you say it without saying it like that? No.
Lilandra.
You have to just Lilandra.
It's like you can't say Charles without being like, Charles! Your revolution's over, Charles! The bomb's launched! That's not right.
So yes, he's gone off onto another galaxy, or just into outer space, and she's being crowned today. Like this is her ascent to Empress of a Galaxy.
Majestrix.
Yes. Yes, of the Shi'ar Empire. It's complicated stuff.
Yeah.
I've seen Byrne do alien stuff, like alien designs of, he's pretty well known for his Krypton, like his revamp of Krypton around 86, 87 post-crisis. And I think that was cooler looking than this. This is it's all right. Yeah, it would be nice to see Patrick Stewart say Lilandra, but why will he never say it? We don't know. He might. He might one day say it. We could probably get him. You can interview him and ask him if I don't know if he knows what the space girlfriend's name is. He might know. I'll never say never. Put it that way. And really, nothing happens here. Just Xavier and her talk for a second, and
they talk cute like a couple would.
Yeah, and he's in love with her, and that's fine.
Yeah,
it's nothing really to it. It's just sort of touching base with him, so the reader stays on track. He's off in space, and she's more orange in her coloring in this than I remember her being. And then he's pinker than usual.
Not so in the Unlims version.
Are they both the same skin color in the Unlimited version?
No, she is a little darker.
Yeah,
but not by much.
But not orange.
No.
It could be just a reflection off the buildings. That's okay.
Where's the Professor X fig in Shi'ar clothing and hover chair?
Right. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Or, yeah, maybe. I like the chair though. I like that.
Kind of neat.
Yeah, it's like
his purple Fantastic Four suit. I don't think is that
right. It's like a Crystal from the Inhumans. It's like very similar.
It's like Challenges of the Unknown.
yeah, even more.
Definitely. All right.
Ooh, another meet cute. A nice meet cute coming up here.
You got something on the brain there, man.
Right under the red lion.
So this is significant. It's the first appearance of Jason Wingard.
Right.
And I just love the mustache mutton chop combo as a fashion choice. And Jean Grey thinks he's cute too. She calls him in her mind a handsome devil.
Yes.
Yeah. So she's in Scotland in Stornoway, not far from Muir Isle, and it's not a coincidence that she bumps into this guy. They introduce each other, and he is obviously working an angle, and she's attracted, and they talk a little bit about her powers. Then there's a quick foreshadow of an upcoming storyline here.
Oh, I was wondering.
Where these two dudes are looking for Angus McWhirter. Angus! And that was ink.
Oh, God.
That was a bottle of ink with a lid on it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Jean finds like the third tier X people. I say that with respect because at this point that's where they are. Not they're not limited to that in their lives, but at this moment in time, no one is asking for the adventures of Muir Isle.
It's basically like X Factor people, though, right?
It is. I mean, that's what they become, and that's when it becomes really interesting, right?
Yeah.
And they start singing and having a competition. It's amazing.
Yes. So she gets back to the group and they head off in the boat, and these guys keep yelling. They're wondering whatever happened to.
No one carries parcels anymore these days.
No, they do not. We've also noticed a trend, Eli. We've noticed a real trend in our comic time reading, in our time reading X-Men comics, that Claremont loves to name extras, like people with one line. So you got one guy here who's Edward, and one guy here who's Stuart. And they just get their one line and they named and they move on. So
here's what I found.
So then back to New York, and Scott's on his lunch date. Oh, he's coming out of the phone company,
right? Which seems so archaic as well.
Oh yeah, you have to go into a building to get your phone. Yeah, definitely previous century.
That's a issue, right? Where they go, the guy when he breaks into the mansion, whatever that
Right.
thing was, and takes. Like they do, I'll give them credit for like they bring him to go downtown calling. Well, I guess he's got to pay the phone bill because we got rid of that guy like 10 issues ago.
Yeah. It's like while you're out, Scott,
right?
Why don't you take care of some?
Right. Do you mind paying these checks? Things.
Oh man.
So Scott is being boring, and Colleen says that she's not complaining.
There's a nice spinner rack here.
Yep, and he takes her for lunch, and they're walking and talking, and she wants an ice cream soda, which I think sounds delicious. I'm going to take a look without the glasses here at the spinner rack.
Ooh, we got What If, Howard the Duck, Dracula, Hulk, Avengers, Miss Marvel.
On the top of the spinner rack, hey kids, comics, wholesome junk.
Yeah, he's also got Starlog on there
and GQ.
It's second panel on the left page.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, creepy
TV guide.
TV guide.
Howard the Duck. Tarzan.
Did you call it Tarzan?
Yeah, Tarzan. That's how you pronounce it, right?
Tarzan.
Tarzana.
Yeah, it's cool. Nice looking spinner rack.
Yeah.
And he's like, Colleen, am I stuffy? Like
he really dwells on this
sport.
Yeah, and we're led to believe that he's ruminating on this stuffiness all episode, all day.
Yes,
like it really bums him out.
One weird thing about this page or that second panel is that Cyclops's or Scott's second sentence is in a word balloon that is on the other side of Colleen's first word balloon.
Right.
And it's not exactly clear that that's him speaking. Like it's an awkward. There should have been a connection between the Colleen and am I stuffy, like an arcing,
definitely,
tag between the two balloons to really clarify it. To me, my ex-friend said below, X-Men creator on Marvel Unlimited.
Nice.
Yeah, he's currently making X-Men Unlimited comics.
Nice.
For Marvel, and he is here with us right now. Look at that.
Hi, Jason.
To me, my ex-friends. Pretty crazy.
Right. How sweet was that in the All Red Surfer where they changed the name of the board to Me? Because she was always like calling out so good.
It was very cute. I've actually read that.
Good, dude.
Yeah.
It's one of the best runs of all time.
Of Silver Surfer, of just comics in general.
I'm going to go on a limb here, my buddy, and say comics ever.
All right. So in the next panel, we get time has passed, as it says to the point there. And Wolverine is driving Press Rex's Rolls Royce.
Yeah, 7:35.
Like, yeah.
Because the clock says 6 in the last
There's
one.
some graffiti on that back wall.
Yeah. Franco Patterson.
And Bruce. And Zippy.
Zippy the Pinhead?
It could be, or it could just be other things that Terry Austin thinks will be interesting and funny.
Pinhead's not the preferred nomenclature, dude.
No, it is definitely not. But he wrote Zippy. You said Pinhead.
Oh, sorry. Whoops. Don't cancel me. Just kidding.
So Storm has asked to be dropped off.
Right.
The corner of 135th and Broadway, as one does.
Yep. Wolverine speeds out over the median, just driving on the median. Doesn't care.
And we learned, several issues ago that that Storm's beginnings are actually in Harlem. Her family's from there. Then they move to Cairo, and then tragedy strikes when there's the Israeli-Egyptian conflict arises. But they take that out of the more modern issues.
Really?
Yeah, they don't talk about the Israeli jets. So anyway. Just putting that back out into the world.
Wolverine's off to a rodeo, dude. I'm sure he's going to go,
I love it. He's like, I'm going to get a bite to eat, go to the rodeo.
At MSG, would they do that there? Would they have a rodeo there?
Of course. And even here at like our big arena in Toronto in the 80s, like Maple Leaf Gardens, they would have the circus there.
Oh, word.
And it's crazy to think of that they'd cover the arena in animal and like elephant shit, but that's right. How it was. So Wolverine's thinking first before he thinks about food in the rodeo that that if she doesn't check in with him later in the day, that he's going to come back and he's not going to play nice about it.
Right.
He'll kill anyone who gets in his way.
He's the best there is at what he does.
And he zips in and out of traffic in that
just driving Rolls Royces.
Yeah.
Yep. And then he sees in his side mirror that Mariko, the woman he's just met, the teenager he's just met in Japan.
Yeah, the teenager, good.
Yeah, again, I want to put that little nugget back into the world. He is somehow, for some reason in New York, and he hops out of the car in traffic, leaving it behind. And, I realized in the color version, it looks good. In the black and white, it's an amazing panel. All that fade to gray stuff that's happening in the background is all cross hatching, and it's just really, really beautiful penmanship from Terry Austin over here. And he does the plaid on the shirt, he does the fur on the trim of the jacket, and all that stuff on the buildings. And he's calling to Mariko, and when he gets to the door, like, the guy won't even let Wolverine in to say hello.
Yeah.
And I feel like you could start the Wolverine limited series like right from this moment, but I do not know where this is going. I don't know how long this drags out before Wolverine's able to.
The coincidence of being in a city the size of New York and him checking his mirror at the exact same time.
I imagine, Chris, if they had more time, like even one more page, and you get Wolverine on foot or something like that, and you get a smell of it, like even from blocks away, maybe like a familiar scent, and he takes the time to turn a couple streets to find her at the embassy or wherever she is.
Well, and this is probably one of the, again, bizarre things about this issue. This is like 4 mini stories patched together.
True.
Into one issue, right? Like we had Colossus, and now it's Cyclops, and now it's a little Wolverine, but now we're getting the Storm. Like it's
and Professor X.
Right, Professor X. Thank you. So, yeah.
Totally. Jason says it's a lot of commitment to grace and textures. It's like beyond.
This is definitely one of the panels that loses something in the digital coloring on Marvel Unlimited. It just doesn't have the gravity and the shading, the shade fade that it should.
Yeah. Jason, if you ever are able to get your hands on the essential volumes, you can just see Terry Austin's work is so much better than we all talk about it being. It's fantastic stuff for sure. The sleekness of the Rolls Royce, that's done because of his line work, like the way he paints those blacks on the ink. It really creates the sense that the metal has curve to it and shine, and it's fantastic work. He's top notch, really, like just best in the biz at the moment in 1979 with pen and brush. So Storm. She walks uptown.
Got kinky Klaus Janson up here.
Yeah, there's that's the first one I noticed too. And everyone's reacting, of course, to Storm, and we get John Byrne, creating some nice stereotype action. The dude in the purple is really stands out to me.
It does feel like Claremont and Byrne are really writing and describing the Harlem of their youth, right? So that's. The Harlem they know and grew up in, right?
I mean, things got bad in the 60s and 70s.
Sure.
And, the heroin epidemic got real bad. And it feels like maybe they're trying to be topical, but it is it's moving toward caricature with some of these figures.
Of course.
For sure.
It is a dangerous territory to be treading. But, just sticking to the story as opposed to commentary for me about the drawing. Storm attracts a lot of attention because the way she carries herself, the fact she's got flowing white hair, she's statuesque.
She's a goddess on Earth,
Well,
she carries herself like that.
She carries herself like one, exactly. So in the first batch of graffiti we see on the steps going up, we see Kinky Klaus Janson 78, Honky Cat.
This dude sitting here too. I don't know how much Mage you guys have read, but it really looks like one of the Grackle Flints, like to me. His skin is not. It's not like Caucasian tone. It's not black tone. It's like spitting white, at least in my digital. So he looks like He looks like Grackle Flynn, who have like white skin and wear these hats and leather jackets and stuff.
You mean the guy like tucked into the steps?
Yeah, right next to the Kinky Klaus Jansen.
Right. I was
sign,
thinking he was either the Question or Rorschach.
Oh wow.
Because of that hat. But anyway, so she's going to the place where her father and mother lived, you know, as a kid, and she's hoping to find something.
Right.
Just to go down memory lane, and right away she notices the smell, and it takes her back to what she's experienced in when they were in the Savage Land, and they were beneath the sun god city, and that would have been a terrible smell because it would be the sewer. So she was saying that place smelled sweet by comparison to this. So this is a real shithole. Yeah, awful. Must be an awful place to go. And here we get way more of Terry Austin doing textures through line. The floor in that final panel on that page is all cross-hatched to create it looking different, to make it look different than the steps. It's all beautiful hatching. And everything gets a different texture. The wooden beams get a texture. The banister, I don't even know what you call those pieces on the banister between like the poles going up and down. They're really well done over here too on my version. Just fantastic stuff.
Agreed.
Yep. So, ooh, look at that.
Yeah. Oh wow. Free Super Shot Vet.
Nice.
Dang, what else they got? California van, dude. That's all vans here in California look like that.
Marvel Mags. Look at that pen.
Did you guys ever subscribe to comics when you were a kid?
No.
I didn't either.
No.
I was always worried they would come folded.
I got mad in the mail. They didn't even put them in a bag or anything. They just put like a
sticker.
No, they put like hard paper, like a cardstock cover over it. It was like a white cardstock cover that would say like "Mad" to like protect the cover. So when you have those subscription Mads, they have like a white cardstock, like an additional cover.
That's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. And they would have jokes like, "You actually bought this?" or something.
No,
yeah.
I think I had for a bit the Sports Illustrated, subscription, or at least like the family did, or Newsweek, those kinds of things. Rolling Stone, maybe.
Zillions Consumer Reports for kids.
Exactly. So Storm wanders up. She's getting more intense, starting to feel anxious as she's getting closer. We see some use of some screen tone from Terry Austin there in that second panel to create that gray.
Ooh, right above that condom on the ground?
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
I didn't either till right now.
There's a banana peel, a can of some kind.
That's no banana peel.
Lots of cigarette butts and such.
Yep.
And that is totally a condom.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, they snuck a condom into an X-Men issue. That's unbelievable.
And Eli, that's why you're on this show, because both Jason and I missed it.
I can find a condom anywhere. Yeah. Anywhere there's a condom, I can spot it.
So we could honestly spend ages just going through all the names that we would see in the next two panels on the wall, including Chris 76. Bonnie's phone number is there.
There's a couple I wanted to point out.
George Perez get his name on the wall.
Yeah.
Down
below, I mean, it's insane. Well, there's also like Jefferson Hairlip, Almost Music.
Yep. And Roger Stern, Shogun, Jim Salicrup, Bob
Mark
Wycheck,
Greenwald.
like Cream Magazine.
Yeah, it's got to be that.
Mary Jo Duffy, Mark Greenwald, like you just said, Jim Shooter.
Yeah, and then it says like Lennon Glennis for Weens, Bill Mantlo.
Austin's name is there. Marv Wolfman.
They got Hulk.
They got a kiss.
Mike Zach.
Kiss off.
It also says Jive Turkey.
Of course it does.
That's
what says Frank Miller too.
It does say Frank Miller. There's Steve Aloha. There's so many here.
Figlet, Zach.
Yep. Al Milgram, Bill Mantlo.
Oh, there says Wood in the bathroom. Could that be Wally, or could that just be like what the guy was looking at whenever he wrote it?
That's what those also says tank, meaning toilet tank.
Oh, right.
It also says Lola.
Oh,
whatever it is.
Well, I see Marv Wolfman above Bluey's head.
and Roger Stern.
Dang, we went for it.
Higgins.
Steve Higgins from SNL.
Yeah, I was going to say Higgins. Yes, the same Higgins who's on the Tonight Show.
His son is in that comedy team. Do you watch the SNL now or no?
I do.
What is it called? We're All Dead. Burn After Reading. No, what is it called? The guys who do the new digital shorts on SNL.
I do not know the name of their comedy.
Oh, they're funny though.
I really do like also how one of the gangs that's represented here is the Sharks.
Yeah,
I think that's so funny. That's
real creative.
Yeah, so that's from a West Side Story, right?
Yeah, yeah. When you're a shark, you're a shark.
Yeah, okay. I've never seen the original.
Come on, a Jewish fellow that doesn't see musicals. We created them.
I watched the new one because it was by
Steven Spielberg, another
Spielberg, and I thought that was like just the perfect combination of things, and I thoroughly enjoyed it for what it is. That being said, I really enjoy the SNL skit where they are. Where were they?
Norm Macdonald kills it.
Cobras, or they?
What are we doing here, guys? Just bring out the song. Oh my god,
it is a great one. I love that.
Yeah.
Anyway, crazy panel. So much heroin.
Yes.
They even talk about
no needles shown. Like,
no.
Yeah.
Right, because that'd be against comics code,
probably. But
maybe.
Yeah, you'd figure. Yeah, there's no needles allowed. I think
this guy's like he's got his arm and he's like finding a vein though, and like everything but basically.
Right. Pretty crazy stuff. And if we were to continue on, right away, the guy in the shark's jacket approaches Storm.
Yeah, it looks like. I immediately thought it was the leader of the Morlocks. What's her name? That
Callisto.
Fights. Callisto.
Yeah. I didn't get the vibe that this character has any specific gender, but I assumed it was a young man who's
I thought the opposite.
A lot of weight.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do they call this character anything?
They do say him. Like
you
heard him.
Her child. Yeah, Bluey. The character's name is Bluey.
Bluey.
Yeah. Everyone knives. Like
yeah.
Right.
Dude, I heard a hilarious.
They're organized.
This happens, man. Like I listened to the good old Grateful Dead cast, a podcast about the Grateful Dead put on by them when they were in on their Europe 72 tour. All the crew members had knives like this, and there was a thing where this guy broke into one of their stages where they're going in, and their head roadie was like, "All right, guys, knives," just like this, and they all pulled out their knives.
It feels
crazy,
very much like a scene out of West Side Story, like to tell them to pull their knives out. And I think that's also like where Claremont is coming from. Like that's the version of gangs that this guy knows. Anyway, they have they provoke Storm. Storm provokes them. Eventually, she gets her hand sliced.
I do want to point out one more graffiti.
Please.
On the panel 4 there.
Yep.
And I paid enough attention to know that he must have mapped this room out too, because he doesn't repeat and he knows where stuff is, which I probably would not have been able to keep that. But it says Franz Liszt fan club. So they must have been listening to a lot of like Franz Liszt in the creation room. In his day, he was a Jim Morrison type fig. He was like a heartthrob. If you read about Franz Liszt, my lady loves Franz Liszt. Do you know about him? I'm guessing from the silence. No. He was like a pop star of like classical music, way back in the Disney. So it's just an interesting thing. They got Kiss, they got a Jefferson Airplane rip, and then they got Franz Liszt. It's great. Yeah,
that's crazy. It's really deep. Good pull there, man.
Thanks, dude.
Also, in that 4th panel, we get the example we've noted many times is Byrne using the bottom of the panel as the floor. So everyone's on that level playing field. Good panel, though, like with that leg in the foreground, lots of depth here. It's excellent. So they approach Storm and things escalate. And then we get also that panel at the bottom where we get that red corner of a circle, Oh,
yeah. I've noticed that a few times that he does that. It's almost like on a stage performance, the spotlight.
Totally.
There was a Cyclops thing earlier too. Yeah.
Totally. As the tension starts to mount, They throw that color red in there. It's, things are intense. But we've also noticed, going all the way back to the first Fantastic Four, Marvel colorists will just change those background colors to create just overall pleasing page. So you get one green, one orange, one blue walled, and one red, and it seems to always work like that. It's never been something that bugged me. Just these changing color backgrounds. It just works as some kind of neutral until it's no longer a neutral. Like now, let's bring in the saturation, pull out some serious intensity with that red. But I love the graphic element of it. Kind of just keeps your eye on the bottom half of the panel, leaves room for the words up top.
It's almost like what they use speed lines for in manga or something to make your eye go in a certain direction, but then to also kind of feed you like the emotion of the panel or something like that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it looks good. It's a good strategy.
Why did she put her hand out there? Did she think she was going to block the knife with her hand? She's not Colossus.
So she gets her hand sliced to the bone, and it creates some good drama, especially up against that white coat she's wearing, which quickly, due to the unstable molecules.
Mm-hmm.
See, I was thinking that, but I think in this one she like sheds it, like she was uncomfortably wearing that thong all day under her white jacket.
How awesome is that panel where she powers up?
Awesome, yeah.
I am, again, like this version I'm reading here, there is no outline around her hair or arms or face. It's just there's no holding lines on her. Just the strong contrast of the intense black and then the white of just power around her.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the swirling power. I warned you, boy.
Wow. Good voice.
Thanks. That's what she sounds like.
Sounds like.
Yeah, that's my Wolverine and Storm voice. Everyone knows they sound identical. If one picks up the phone, you can't tell who's talking. I also really love how Austin creates depth with the characters that are getting blown away by not rendering much on the woman furthest across that fourth panel.
Mm-hmm.
She's further into the wind, so that she doesn't get a lot of detail on her. And the same thing underneath, the panel below that, where it looks like she's colored in, I don't know, a bit of brown and orange. They've changed it for the classic. She's in like a mauve, but anyway, in the black and white, the blacks aren't even colored. They're not even like fully painted. They're just lines to denote a little bit of gray. So he's really creating like that. Some characters are further into the wind than the others by how much he's rendering them. It looks really good. And that guy's gonna pick up that knife.
Yeah,
Louis
ready.
Oh, Christ! She's some kind of superhero.
This is intense. She's fighting a bunch of heroin junkies. Like it's a little crazy for a Marvel comic. We get a really rare shot of Storm, the back of her cape.
Oh yeah.
Like you don't usually see that, where it goes in that, like it goes up in a little triangle.
Mm-hmm. Are you grabbing a fig? I got one too. It kind of comes up right there, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna just here. We'll just.
Yeah, that's the one I have too. Yeah,
right.
They probably sourced it from this or something. I don't know.
Dusty cape. But yeah, like you never see that point, but it looks really, really cool.
Yeah, I'm glad they cut that point out so we could see her butt. Otherwise,
is that what you really? I'm just glad I have the figure to kind of complete my set. But yeah, okay, the butt, sure.
No, I'm saying that in a way of like 1970s creating a outfit for like a superhero to fight crime. And if she's a woman, we gotta make sure we see navel, make sure that
I know
her belly button is framed in that circle there.
Just so nuts, but that is the world in which the world that we come from. So
yeah, Schmoopsy is right behind Bluey there. Schmoopsy on the wall.
Yeah, I saw that before, but now I have to find it again. What does it say?
Yeah, right there, right below the thought bubble.
The Coletta Mob. There's the Coletta Mob, the Sharks. So many. Funky. There's the Franz Liszt thing again.
Oh yeah, on the next page here, yeah, and the Coletta mob.
Yep. Oh my god. Okay, so yeah.
Oh, it says Wizard, like that. The magazine I was telling you from the 70s, Wizard.
So just as the guy gets the drop on her, Luke Cage and Misty Knight show up.
Yes.
We've also had a big trope of Misty Knight pulling guns on people when we're surprised she would have a gun.
She should have a gun built into her metal arm.
Nothing's wrong with Storm's cause from a lot of points of view. We hear you, man. It's only problematic because it's every single time she's objectified. If she was not objectified every time, it'd be fine to objectify once in a while, but it's just every time. They find every excuse to get that woman naked. And I love Storm too. I love her.
I'm not saying everyone has to wear a long jacket and a tank and a turtleneck like Misty Knight, but
true.
Maybe Storm gets real hot. I mean, controlling the elements. I mean, she just needs to be cool, you know.
So Luke Cage and Misty Knight show up. They're like, they heard that she was someone fitting her description was walking around town, and they decided to check in on her. Funny, this is just after they had that crossover too. And
return the favor.
You know, Luke Cage kind of gives her the lowdown on why this is happening in this part of the city, right?
Right.
Saying,
Yeah.
You know, what are you going to expect? No,
he doesn't do what you would expect, which is just talk shit about him or whatever.
That's
He's
right.
Like, now look, I mean, this is my neighborhood. These are my people.
Yep. They got no homes, no decent schooling, no money, no jobs, no hope.
Mm-hmm.
So they shoot up Skag. And they shoot people to get their bread, to feed their habits.
And they join gangs called the Sharks, and they use their names like Bluey.
And then he says, like, yeah, and they live in a society more concerned about caging 13-year-olds for life than trying to give them a decent chance.
Right.
Hot political takes.
And it is like a social commentary, you know, and
a lot of it's true even today.
Sure. There's something to that. And then the scene ends, and they talk about Galactus for a minute. Like, yeah, we can't fix everything. You know, we're not Galactus. Take us back to Salem Center, and Misty Knight. Colleen Wing is about to hop on the train, probably back into the city, because at this point in time, Misty Knight and Colleen Wing are partners. They're daughters of the dragon, heroes for hire kind of stuff. So she's gonna head back on that train into the city. Cyclops is still hung up on being stuffy.
Yeah. Stuffy, huh? Opens the scene like he's so needy.
Yep. You have potential, Scott. I think I'm just the one to help you realize it. And yeah, she gives him her key, which is kind of cute.
It's not actually to her room for her house. It's actually the chastity belt. She wears one like in Robin Hood Men in Tights. So she's like, here's the key to my chastity belt.
I thought it was to like the maintenance closet in her building. If you ever want to come and just do some work,
yeah,
come on, just come over and help out. And she's like, "Oh, Colleen, what are you getting yourself into?" Head says, "Keep things casual." Heart says, "Go for broke."
Ooh.
Groin says,
"Go for it."
Optic blast. Yeah, and
it's nothing confusing about ending a story with a prologue.
What are you talking about? I didn't even notice. Oh my goodness! In the version I've got, it's actually really hard to read the word prologue because there's no color and there's no outline around the letters either. So I knew what it said, but it's not as explicit as it is here. And we get the return of these two characters on an airplane. By the way, if you're ever going to go, get an airplane, consider not bringing Juggernaut.
Right. I was thinking the exact same thing. Doesn't he weigh like a couple tons?
Probably.
I bet you it's in my Marvel book right here.
And if he sneezes, like you lose an engine. We meet Miss Locke, who is does she have a job description? We know she's employed by the most expensive assassin in the world.
Ooh.
I don't like this, Tom. I think we're making a mistake.
He's the most expensive one, but he only takes quarters for a payment. And tokens if you pay up front.
Yeah, I'm the Juggernaut, Tom. I do like this Juggernaut though.
Yeah, it's
good.
It's like in between the design they decided to stick with and the like original design.
So Juggernaut says he doesn't like it, and hey Chris, what does Cassidy say after that?
Is that so? 6 times, I think. You tried to kill the X-Men. Old team and new. And each time, you failed. Let someone else try for once, Kane. We're bigger, better, fish to fry. If our man succeeds, those cursed mutants will be dead, and we'll be millionaires. If he fails, we'll still be millionaires. And you'll be free to try whenever you like. You're satisfied?
No.
No.
Mr. Black Tom Cassidy? Mr. Kane Marco. That's what I feel like he sounds like.
There you go.
Where do you think that this character, who is yet to be revealed, is from? Eli, do you have a sense of
Mojo Land?
The Bayou?
Like
the Bayou?
Well, you chose a particular reading there. I mean, like,
well, because I feel like he's a child at heart, like he never fully grew up, kind of thing.
Right. He's a man-child.
A man-child, yeah.
Deadly assassin man.
Kept it high, yeah, exactly. He's so pissed that his balls never drop, so he's like, I need to build elaborate games for people to die in.
So do you want to flip to that last page there, Chris?
Sure.
And
dun,
you'll see
dun.
reveal is...
Dun, 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 dun. Oh.
There you go.
Arcade.
Great reveal, creepy looking face.
Yeah. I wonder who his printer is to make all his cards.
That's what I was going to say. How did he get John Byrne to draw his X-Men cards? Oh, they look really good.
He's got a lot of money.
He's like, look at my cane. It's made of human bones. You know I'm serious. Whoa.
You know which bone it is, don't you? Oh, my God, Eli, come on.
And I also sit on a chair with an A on it. Because I
stole it from Archie.
That's true. That is the Archie A. That chair, it's so ornately drawn, too.
Are you saying Arcade is an alternate dimension Archie?
Oh, my God. He does have the hair.
And he is a man-child.
Yeah. I could definitely see Archie wearing that getup, too.
So there is an arcade Marvel Legends, but I haven't picked it up.
Kevin Fargus.
Is that the bully?
The bully kid in the Christmas Story is Kevin Fargus, I think. Fargus.
Is that like your favorite movie of all time, Chris?
It's up there.
I've only ever seen it once. And that once was in high school in Spanish class. And when I said I had never seen it, did they make fun of me.
Scott Farkas. Sorry, Scott Farkas.
Fart kiss, more like.
Farkas. Eyes are green. Anyways,
unlike every other issue we've read, this one does not have any supplementary pages by Kieran Dwyer. It goes right to ba-bum.
What is that?
This is this story. The backup in this issue of Classic X-Men.
Wow.
It was some trial for nothing.
Imagine being a massive Colossus fan, you get that issue, you're like, what the hell?
Yeah. I totally was like gearing up when I read it today. I was like, okay, it's gonna be like something. He's like put on some sort of cosmic trial for something he did. Or...
Not at all.
Nah.
We get the story by Ann Nocenti and art by the amazing John Bolton. It's a Halloween party. It's a murder mystery kind of whodunit thing. Nightcrawler gets to go to the party in his plain face. He's very excited. The other X-Men are already there, and he knows that there's a problem, that there's a threat to a person at the party, and they're trying to figure out, what to protect this guy here is telling Kurt that they need his help, and he's trying to figure out who the other X-Men are so that he can get to them if there's a trouble. It looks like Wolverine's right there, but it is not.
It's a dude dressed as Wolverine.
Yes. And there's all sorts of, weird food like fingers and gross. So as the issue continues, he's like looking across the room, like very Crumb
Right.
looking stuff.
Right, yeah.
And he's like, oh, that big guy, that's probably Colossus, and he's trying to figure out who everybody is. And it's all good. And there's all these. He's like, oh, that ladies' man, that must be, Wolverine with this swashbuckler mask on. Got to figure out what's going on. Oh, yuck. Eyeballs in my drink. And then, some cat lady comes up and is like, oh, let's do this. Like your costume. Eating a finger. And she touches the tail, realizes it's warm because it's real. And as you know, anyway, things start to escalate really quickly, and Cyclops meets this woman's giving him the eyes. So we learn pretty quickly this takes place before all of the stuff that we're used to. So in continuity, Jean and him are still a couple already. And he's going to go and have a smooch with this lady. And then he smooches her, and it's a mask. Under the mask is like scarred stuff.
Oh.
She's like, what's the matter, lover boy? And he's like, Wolverine, let's do this. You're not Wolverine. Oh, no. And then there's the scream.
That's a very all red panel right there. It's
Totally.
like the Joker or the Jester and stuff.
Totally. And he's too late. The ghost, the friend, has been stabbed. Like, there's her leg. Look, it was real. Oh my God. And this guy in the clown costume runs for the door. And there's a big dude wrapped as a mummy. Who do you think it is?
Colossus.
Oh yeah, it's Colossus.
This is the real trial of Colossus.
Yep. And then he runs into the laundry pile. And who's the laundry pile? That's clean laundry, bub.
Wolverine.
And then the clown's like, yeah, I'm going to kill one more person.
So someone's already died?
The ghost person, huh?
So
is that
I'll kill some more. I'll kill some more, no problem.
Is that Obnoxio the clown?
It is. And then it's like, the ghost was a dummy. I never died. You haven't killed anybody. And then up comes the knife. So, Jean's there, telekinesis. And who's Jean?
Slits the clown's throat.
You wish. Who's Jean? Can you guess?
The girl with the scarred up face.
The girl with the scarred up face was Jean the whole time. And Cyclops is like, what? She's like, come on. He's like, I'm sorry I kissed you thinking it wasn't you.
It's Cyclops.
She's like, you knew it was me. That's why you kissed me.
Oh.
He's like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's you.
And that's the end. And then, Nightcrawler gets his date with the
He's like, hey, Fraulein.
Exactly. And there's this pin up by
Nice.
Silvestri.
Sick.
What are they fighting? A giant tree?
Brood.
The Brood, dude.
Brood, dude.
We get
Good.
Loa, Kitty
Nice.
Pryde, an ad for Someplace Strange by John Bolton and Anna Senti, which is what we were just reading, basically. A cool ad for the Inhumans. Some Brett Blevins art.
That is cool.
For the graphic novel. That's not bad. That's actually pretty good. Yeah,
it's good. And then you get that Trial of Colossus cover.
False advertising.
Yep. And that back there. But that's what you get in this sweet, sweet issue of Classic X-Men, issue 20.
Cry for the children.
This cover, by the way, again, signed by the great Terry Austin. And I didn't show you the frontispiece.
Oh, like that's a real signature you got?
I brought a stack of these to him at a Comic-Con when I was a kid.
Nice.
And he signed them. So you get Wolverine doing his repairs.
That's awesome.
And Wolverine and Colossus and recreating that scene there.
That's great.
Yeah. Whenever I see this phrase, who am I just think of Austin Powers, where Dr. Evil, and never mind, it's the whole, he does this bit where he's trying to make fun of Scotty's son. Who am I? Who am I? Anyway, that's what I think about. Really weird issue, like really well done, really well made. At least the drawing is great, but it's such a filler issue in terms of everyone kind of gets a page or two here or there, and it doesn't move anything forward. So good thing we had Eli Schwab on.
Yay!
That is about nothing for no.
No, I actually thought it was a good enough issue. There was some kind of interesting stuff. We got to see all the different characters kind of off on their own. We got to see Wolverine kind of like pressed by Cyclops to like make some. He said, "Oh, you're going to replace Mr. Fix-It now." And
Right.
now, is that a reference to the Hulk, Mr. Fix-It, or are we talking?
No. It
Yes,
predates that by like 10 years. Well, maybe 7.
Yeah.
But it's just neat because it adds like a little bit more glue to the cohesion of the family, X-Men as a family. You know, they have all these ongoing stories, and if you have some serious action fighting Canadians in Calgary for 2 issues, you're going to need a time to catch your breath and reset. So this starts, like, it plants seeds of stories for moving forward. We've got the Jason Wingard subplot,
which is huge. I mean, that's a huge start of a story.
Is huge. We've
Phoenix.
got some tension now with this Mariko thing with Wolverine, which will lead into the whole limited series, which starts his whole solo comic and franchise of Wolverine. So like that's significant. You get the first interaction between Arcade and the X-Men, which is like a staple villain for them forever.
This is his first fighting the X-Men. Was he in
Marvel Team Up before?
Oh, interesting.
So he's coming to fight these guys, which is going to be huge. We get, I guess, Storm reconnecting with her roots, and not really a reoccurring theme. Like her and Heroine is not a reoccurring theme. Cyclops being a stuffy turd is not huge. But Colossus, like, and his sense of duty and burden, and Wolverine taking the mentor role with his teammates, like Colossus.
Yeah, he kind of sheds that pretty quick, I feel like.
Yes and no. He's going to become a mentor eventually, forever, in everyone's mind, to Kitty Pryde, to Jubilee.
Yeah.
And even you want to say X-23 in the movie.
True.
Right? So we're going to forever see Wolverine as the gruff the gruff mentor, the reluctant mentor.
Yeah.
He will fill that archetype till the end of time now. And we see a little bit of that here where he takes on that role. So there are lots of pieces, I think, that connect to lots of other things, but it isn't the most.
Doesn't he become like a headmaster too in the like Wolverine and the X-Men thing? The Wolverine and the X-Men stories.
I think it's part of the animated, right? And Jason.
Oh, that too. Oh, that's what that is.
Just you and I.
Seems like Jason Ice-Manned up a little bit there.
Yeah, he did. Top Gun Ice-Manned up.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
I think that the issue was fun though. It's cool to see Luke Cage and Misty Knight there, and get a little social commentary going on. And
yeah, it felt very much like there's a lot of ideas at play, and it was kind of like it's almost like vignettes, right? Like little bits. But at the same time, they've been the last 10 issues plus. They've been in the Savage Land, Japan, Canada, they've been everywhere. So I think probably like bring them back to like upstate New York and New York City and have them like reintegrate is probably pretty good.
Yeah.
It just comes off in like mini episode form,
Exactly. Like, but as Jason was saying, it like plants the seeds for all these all these big stories. I mean, especially Dark Phoenix, which is huge. Totally. And they say it's the first appearance of Jason Wingard, but he eventually becomes Mastermind. So it's like not really the first appearance of Mastermind. It's like, so that's a little something.
Yeah, there's like, and again, considering they are, considering some of these stories are just little like pages, they've already set up a whole bunch of things.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, Jason.
Hey guys,
welcome back.
I don't know what happened. I think maybe my internet took a hiccup.
Probably.
But it's all good.
Had it down. It's cool.
I got to hear you guys talking on my phone, and while I was going, you guys said some terrible things
about you.
How dare you? But I agree with you. It has set up all these little things, and it just isn't anyone's favorite issue.
Right. I mean, not enough happens. Not enough cool stuff happens. But hey, if you're a Storm fan, this might actually be an issue you would want to read to get like just that little glimpse of her like going back home, her talking a little bit about her roots, and her trying to connect, but then getting eventually knocked down. So
get her hand cut to the
hand cut. But when she started using her powers, it seemed like it healed up.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know what to say. Yeah, that was the trial of Jason.
That was
get knocked off.
You've been found guilty.
You have no idea, dude. So moving forward, next issue, we're gonna see obviously X-Men versus Arcade. We get a guest appearance from Spider-Man.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he joins them. I think it's like that Marvel team up thing happening, like where he's a staple character from that. So he's coming back in, and that is very exciting. That they get some John Byrne Spider-Man. Not often a character I associate with John Byrne and his art style,
Right.
but I'm very happy to be reading that one. So that should be very cool. I'm excited,
especially if it's the X-Men's first encounter with Arcade. That's got to be a sweet app. Is it the front? Is the front covers where he's like kind of like this, got his hands spread out, and there's like almost like a pinball machine or something?
It's a murder world, you know.
Of course, yeah.
That's what he calls his
Mida World. It's me, Arcade.
Moitas. We're only gonna do Moitas.
Only Midas in the building.
Only Moitas.
It's
Perfect.
It's a good show.
It's a 2-issue arc. And the second part of it will be like the really weird one where Colossus is dressed as the proletariat, where he's wearing like overalls and a hat.
And there's a whole thing with Storm where she gets trapped, and that's where one of the first times we see her like claustrophobia or something.
Yeah, they've played that one up pretty well over the last 20 or 30 issues. Yeah, they've done a good job of it, bringing it in whenever they need to have it there. Like, again, it's a lot of characters to juggle in an action scene, and you can only have so many ups and downs. And if you ever need a down and get that character out of the action for a few panels, you can always just bury.
Because she's got so many powers that she could almost get out of anything. So when you get something like that,
for sure, she's a great character and a great action.
A cool thing, yeah.
So Eli, you also just finished a month of, Free Comic Book May.
Oh, that's true.
So you were every single Saturday you were in a store in your area?
Let's see. All but one.
Okay.
So on the 7th Free Comic Book Day, I sold my books at Alternate Universe Comics in not downtown LA, but in like the Silver Lake Echo Park area at where my boy Manus works. So that was really fun, really busy, fun day. The next week I didn't do anything except for Ringside Thology. Shout out to Cartoonist Kayfabe Ringside Seas. And the next two Saturdays, Collector's Paradise, which is my local store. Then they also have a few different stores. If you're in the LA area, you can buy most of my books there as well. They carry Wizard right now. They're actually carrying The Power by Rick Lopez now and Relic Hunter by Adam Lebna, because they did the signings with me both weeks too.
It was fun to follow a little bit of that on social media. I was happy to see you guys were out.
It was really fun. I'm completely sold out of my mini comic and my Monkey Line primer now, so I gotta quickly see what I got. Like 4 books I need printed in like 2 weeks to get to. Like, I hope it works. I almost like don't think it will, but.
And of course, in about 3 weeks, you're going to be here in Toronto.
Right.
You're coming in on Friday or Thursday?
I'm coming in on Thursday. Do you have a printer in Toronto that I could use? Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an option. We'll talk.
There are many printers in Toronto, but yeah, that's not a bad idea to print it here and then pick it up.
And I could just pick it up. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that'll save me so much money. I need to talk to you about that.
You should think about like what's convenient for you and Craig and all, but like to make the arrangements go if he's driving, picking you up or whatever.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it off.
Yes.
We'll talk about it backstage.
Oh, in the green room.
In the green room. It's green to smell. Oh, exactly. So that brings us to the end of Previously in X-Men, episode 31. It's been 31 weeks in a row of us doing this insanity.
Nice. Great job.
Yeah, sure.
No, it's hard. I do weekly casts too. It's not always easy.
We're super glad to have you here, Eli. It's always good to hang with you. It's been too long.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to the real deal.
Oh, I can't wait.
Just a couple weeks. I've never looked forward to hugging a man.
Yeah. That's gonna be great.
As intensely as I'm looking forward to this. Finally meeting after
a full body l'chaim like no one's ever seen.
All right. Chris, any last words from you?
No, just say that reach us on the socials, Group of 7 Comics, number 7. And if you are in the Toronto area, come see us at the Toronto Comic Arts Festival mid-June, 17th, 18th, 18th, 19th. I keep getting those dates mixed up. Anyway, that weekend, Toronto Reference Library, free event too, by the way. Okay, free event. If you haven't been to TCAF,
I didn't know
it's
that.
a blast. It's packed. It's full of indie comic creators. It's full of amazing publishers. That's Mother Trucker. I love it.
Wow.
Yeah, come see us and come see us and Eli and a whole bunch of our friends at TCAF.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, only thing I disagree with, or I would amend there, friend Chris, is that you said if you're in the Toronto area, man, it doesn't matter where you are. Come to Toronto.
Right.
Right? Get over here. Come share the joy of comics and comics making. And we'll have a great weekend doing comic book related stuff. It should be a blast. Some more stickers.
Nice.
That's some Darwin Cook right there.
Darwin Cook right there.
Yeah, I got a bunch of stickers here. Look at that. I cannot wait to read the magazine. I gotta get my hands on that. I pre-ordered a copy from you. We got 2 copies coming, one from me, one from Chris.
That's right.
And
hopefully not any foils because I don't have any left.
No. Just happy with whatever I get.
Oh.
Just happy.
All right. 2 pre-orders. So I'm gonna set up a pre-order on my website if any Torontonians.
People could be Torontonian. People could be coming from anywhere. I mean,
true.
It's right. I mean, you are a good example of that.
That's right.
People could even
come get fully decaffeinated with us.
Yes, can't wait. All right, everyone, have a great night, and thanks for joining us. And we'll see you next week when our guest will be Toying Around's Kevin Wong.
Nice.
All right,
Cool.
Awesome. I'll talk to you in 5 minutes.
Okay. Thanks, Eli.
Thank you. Later, Chris.